Hello tastemakers, this is Cake Salad, I'm Sarah, and I have some unfinished business. 2 weeks ago, Jared challenged us to use some unconventional contractions. I have no desire to be a potato gobbler, so let's spend a second admiring the strange archaic contraction tisn't. Tisn't every day here, witchlight tisn't. This week we will be creating a story chain, spinning a yarn in the manner of middle school English classes. Weren't middle school English classes the best? You got to replicate Greek architecture using Rice Krispie treats and write creepy Edgar Allan Poe style poetry, and no matter what, you pretty much got an A for effort and emotional investment. Life isn't like that. Cake Salad is, though. That's why it's the best. Let's get to it. Once there was a young man named Bob. Or was it an old woman? Or was it something in between? These things, age and gender, are not important to this story. What is important is that Bob needed very many things. Bob needed to work and pay bills and eat meals. Bob needed to pursue creative endeavors and become better at things Bob cared about. Bob needed to be a considerate friend and a loving member of a loving family. Bob needed to be very good at very many things because Bob needed people to love Bob and to see that Bob was trying very hard. And so Bob tried very hard. Bob woke up early and stuck to a schedule. Bob tried to be everything Bob needed to be. Most days, though, Bob couldn't be everything he needed to be. So at the end of Bob's day at 9 p.m., Bob would lay awake thinking of all of the ways Bob could have been better. How Bob could have worked harder, been more creative, done more for the people Bob loved. Bob would think for a very long time, and all that thinking would keep Bob awake. And in the morning, when Bob's alarm clock rang, Bob wouldn't want to get out of bed. But get up Bob would, because that's what Bob did. One day, after a long while of laying in bed thinking of all the ways Bob could be better, Bob thought, I don't think I want to be Bob. Being Bob is exhausting. So Bob got out of bed, put on some shoes, and walked to the door. I am going. Once there was a young man named Bob. Bob.